So I've been very excited to do this video. It's about self-image, and I've just been very excited because it's something that I've read a lot about this entire time. So I want to start by the very base that I'm gonna use for the entire video, and this is about a woman that I saw on TikTok. She had a PhD in psychology, and she was explaining how, I don't know if I mentioned this in previous videos, but I think I did. I might not, but um, I might have mentioned the fact that our brain is constantly trying to confirm the beliefs we carry in our mind or subconscious mind. So beliefs about the world, about people around you, about certain circumstances, certain people, whatever it is. Your brain's always trying to confirm that, but especially when it comes to who you have believed or convinced yourself that you are, your brain's also gonna try to look ways on the outside to confirm that. So this woman was explaining that exactly. She was saying how you right now, whoever is watching this right now in this moment, you in your life, you're constantly trying to prove people that you are who you think you are. And she was explaining how it doesn't matter if who you think you are is like good things or bad things, not even if it's who you really are, which is it's really not. It doesn't matter what your brain believes about yourself, whether it's for your convenience or not, whether it's real or not. Your brain's still gonna be designed to try to confirm it on the outside and prove to others that that's who you are. But what if I told you that literally whoever you think you are literally has nothing to do with who you really are? And I personally had to go through this. I will give my example, but I think it's like confusing. I don't know if it's gonna help the purpose, but I might. So well, actually, yeah. For instance, this year it like I realized it myself in my case, how because how much my self-concept was affecting my relationships, my friendships, even like work, my attitude like at work and with other people that I worked with, whatever it was, my attitude with myself, especially like my attitude with myself. And once I worked towards changing that, and before I changed it, I started like questioning it, like, okay, why am I acting like this? Is if it doesn't even, because it didn't even feel like it was me, but I was still feeling like I was having attitudes or other things that weren't, they didn't feel truthful to who I really was, but I was still doing it, and it was like automatic. And I started questioning myself, why am I doing this? Why am I speaking like this? Why am I saying these things? Why am I having these behaviors? Especially because I realized they don't feel like me. They don't feel like it's who I really am. They don't feel natural. And those behaviors, those things, they weren't even benefiting me. I wasn't trying to pretend to be somebody who I thought people would like. I feel like, if anything, it was the complete opposite. So I was like, if I'm doing something that is not truthful to who I really am, why is it even negative? Like, it makes no sense that, like, if at least I'm faking something, at least it will be for my benefit, but it's not. So I started questioning it, writing it down, like paying attention to what I was doing, and I realized, you know what, like, this is literally nothing like who I really am. But we could talk more in detail about it. But the point is that I decided, you know what, I'm gonna change my beliefs about myself. Not like trying to change me, because I leave some room open to like give my inner self, or like my real self, freedom to tell me who I am. But other beliefs that like were not benefiting me and weren't even true, I changed them. I started to change them. I started to behave differently. So I can tell you my life has improved very much after doing so, and I'm still like gonna keep on doing it. But it was just so just impressing how like things that I believed about myself that weren't even true and that I was aware, like they were affecting me so much. So after all of this that I said, so whoever's watching this, and the first thing I said was like, whoever you think you are, it's not, nothing, has nothing to do even with who you really are. So just think about it. As when you're a kid and growing up, you went through experiences, and you also experience people, or they experience you. And the point is that you heard things, you lived things, you saw things, and you either like learned, oh, that's who I am because this happened, or because I was told that's who I am, or something that happened, you were like, okay, this happened, so it means I'm this type of person. And you literally grow up, and your brain starts learning like, oh, this is who I am. Like if you grew up hearing, oh, or you're stupid, or like you're lazy, you're always doing something wrong, whatever it is, your self as a kid is gonna learn, oh, I'm these things, I'm these things because I was told I was that, and it's gonna learn that. But another thing that can happen is that not just like being told, like you need to be told directly, oh, you're stupid, to grow up with a belief like that. If maybe like instead you were put into a situation where, like, not with words but other ways, they made you feel ridiculous or less than, your brain also can translate, okay, I'm being treated as if I was stupid, as if I was less than, so I must be okay. So if you see, we all have gone through stuff like that when we were kids or teenagers, whatever it is. We went through situations that they didn't define us. They didn't. I know people say that, but instead they they taught you to learn a definition of who you were. When, here's the thing, none of that had nothing to do with you. Literally nothing to do with you. You didn't provoke it. You didn't, it was not something about you. It was not. Because let's say, for instance, if you're a kid and you do something and you're told you're stupid, well, just because you do something or you make a mistake doesn't mean you're stupid. Or let's say, if you were an outcast in high school or in middle school, and from that you learn, oh, I'm weird, I'm an outcast, I don't fit in, I'm not good socially, when in reality, if you went through something like that, it had nothing to do with you. But I feel like as humans, when we're young, we take everything personal. We think it's something about you. But if you think about it, like if, for instance, if you went through something like that in middle school, the fact that you were bullied doesn't mean that you're an outcast or that you're weird. It means that you were in a school that had bullies. And that's literally it. Like if I go into a workplace and people talk bad about me, it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with me. It means that I went to a workplace where there's a lot of people that like to talk about others. Whatever I do, whatever they say about me, it has nothing to do with me, and it has literally nothing to do with me. It just means that that's who they are. But who they are doesn't define who you are. How they treat you doesn't define how you deserve to be treated. Who they think you are doesn't define who you are. I think I said that twice. Doesn't matter. The point is that the way people treat you, the way people talk to you, has nothing to do with you. But growing up, you probably didn't know that. The who people think you are, the concept they have of you, the behaviors they have towards you, whatever it is, even if they acted or said like it was justified, had absolutely nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. That's just who they are. maybe they're judgy, they're grumpy, they projected, they saw something in you that was of them and they didn't like that, or they were just they were just freaking assholes. Honestly, that's the best way I can put it. They were just freaking assholes. And that's it. Like, you don't need to overthink it. But our brain, since we want to be accepted, loved, etc., it's easier for us to just think, oh, okay, that's who I am. Maybe if I change myself, I'll receive the acceptance and love that I'm looking for. And that every person, no matter who you are, you're gonna want that. It doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. Like, you can find people who give you those things. I will say just give it to yourself, and the people who come around doesn't. But we're not talking about that in that video. The point is that it's normal to want to be accepted and loved. It's like a human necessity. But the point is that that could be the reason that you took it personally, especially if it was your family who convinced you that you were whoever you think you are right now, or you were. So once said this, and once you understand this, maybe it's easier for you to understand, okay, so who I think I am, it's not real, it's not who I am. No, it's not really. Like, right now you might even not believe me, but it really is not. Like, nothing you believe of yourself is real. But you might be like, but like literally my entire life I was straight like that, or like I always bumped like into people that treat me like that, into situations. Like, you could explain to me why you are that, and like, well, look, this happens, and like, even in my life it's reflected. It's because you believe it. It's because you're reflected. It's because you are literally, you're gonna think I'm crazy, but you're literally wanting people to treat you the way you think you deserve to be treated. You want them to believe that about you. You are so convinced you are whatever they convince you, that whoever they convince you that you are just so much trying, very much trying to convince others that that's who you are, because that's just how the brain works. Probably it's not even something like you're conscious of. It's just the brain works like that. It wants to confirm its beliefs. So literally, you might not even read a word of it, but your posture, the way you talk, the way you express yourself, the way you just present yourself, the clothes you wear, the things you do, decisions you make are just so sorry are you so influenced by your self-image, somebody who's not even real, it doesn't exist. All of those negative labels, like, if you see it in your life, it's just because you believe it. But I think that's enough explanation. I hope you understand so far what I mean. And you might still be thinking, no, that's who I am. I still see it in my life. That's just how I've always been. No, it's just who people convince you were, who your own brain convinced you to be, and your brain learned it, and your entire life it kept repeating it because it was like, this is who I am. And it made you focus on people that treated you like that confirmed that belief. It took you to places that confirmed that belief. It just made you feel you were so convinced that you were that you became that. And that's it. That's literally it. It's not you. But if you are able to just meditate on it, you will realize this is true. And because even right now, best example I can possibly think of, and I realized it with myself. Let's say you have a belief of, oh, I'm not good enough. If you do, then probably you can think of so many people and just experiences you went through that confirm that belief. You can think of it. But if I told you, okay, can you remember other times where people treated you like you were more than good enough, or experiences that made you feel that you were more than good enough? If you think enough, you'll eventually bump into it and you'll realize. And the more you think about it, the more they're gonna come, and the more you're gonna remember, whoa, you know what? Yeah, I remember, I don't know, a person that was really in love with me, or a friend that like really appreciated me, or this person who really liked my jokes, or I liked how I dressed, how I was, whatever it is. Or I remember this experience I went through where I felt really good about myself, etc., etc. The more you think of it, the more you're gonna remember, and then you're gonna be like, but how come I never noticed that there was the complete opposite? Because if you have a belief that that's who you are, it's your focus. Your mind's gonna focus in it. It's gonna attract more of it, whether it's memories, whether it's whatever, and it's just gonna get there almost imprinted in your brain that that's who you are. And that's something that happened to me, that I did, like I started questioning all my beliefs of myself, like thinking, I don't know, I had beliefs of like not feeling wanted either by my like people or friends or whatever. So I started like thinking, whoa, can I think of moments where I felt wanted by my friends, or like appreciated by my friends, by people? And man, I started like remembering so many things little by little. But I remember one, and I remember another one, and I remember so many, and I was like, how was I ever so convinced that I wasn't? How was I ever so convinced of the opposite? Like, how did I never remember these things, or never notice these things of how blessed I was, and how many people really appreciated me and loved me for who I was? How come I never realized those things? I was so convinced that I wasn't, and I could remember or tell all of these things that like confirmed to me that I was not loved or wanted, but never realized this because I was focused on that, because that's who I believed I was. If like that's who you believe you are, even if someone comes and loves you or treats you or the way you want to be treated, whatever, you might not believe it. You might not even notice. You might not even remember. You could go on about your life thinking you're just not wanted, not loved. Nobody cares about you. You could literally go on about your life, even though it's not true. Even though there's a lot of things, people experiences that confirmed you otherwise. But since that's what you believe, your brain is so focused on that that's all you can see. So even right now, even if you went through experiences, even if your belief is, oh, I'm stupid, and you went through like a lot of experiences that say that you're stupid, and even now, there are things, people, whatever, that have made you, have given you the opportunity to confirm that you're not stupid, that you're smart, that there's things that you're good at, and you're not even aware of it because that's your belief doesn't allow you. Your focus is over here. And so if you need more confirmation, there's even this experiment that is super popular. I feel like every single video of psychology I watched, they mention it. I feel like my phone's like running out of storage, so this video might cut at any moment, and I'll just upload it just so you guys know. But this experiment, long story short, they gave a test to a bunch of college students, and about 40% of those students, it was an intelligence test. 40% or 30% of those students realized or got a result that they were above the average intelligent, above the average smart. So what happened in the following 6 months is that those people drastically improved their grades, they were more involved in their community, and they achieved a lot of more academic success, or like in their lives, more confident, more a lot. So what's the trick here? The trick is that was bullshit. It was they were not normal. They weren't above the average smart. They just got fake results because it was an experiment. It was an experiment to see what will happen if they got those results. If they were told, oh, you're above the average smart. It was just an experiment to see what will happen, and that's what happened. Is that they were told that, they were like, whoa, I'm above the average smart. And their lives reflected it. Their attitude, everything changed. They really became above the average smart. There's like so many examples I can give. I'm just trying to show you, convince you of this because it's true. So